handedly saved the world along with his truck driver Mike Adams on Thursday here. I'm sure Tom will let everybody know on his Facebook page exactly what happened, along with videos. We should say that the Coles Racing truck gained a couple of uninvited guests on the way to the circuit, and the uninvited guests were under the mistaken impression that because the truck had a British license plate that it was heading for the UK, not 3,000 kilometres south in Spain, and they were somewhat surprised to get out of the truck, to be greeted not only by a couple of rather surprised members of the Coles Racing team and the RGMMC organisers, but also the Garda as well. Now, we have had a problem on the rolling lap, and it's a pretty major problem, and it's a pretty major problem involving our pole sitter and also a couple of others. Well, Arnold Malizia has somehow got himself involved with a couple of other drivers, and we have got a problem there. That's Nicholas Scholl, who is out of his car, and Nicholas Scholl holding one of his arms. There's a third cart off the circuit as well. I'm trying to see who that might be. That may be Oscar Paloma. Well, there's been a collision on the rolling lap, and Arnold Malizia, who won the second heat race, has gone around, and his rear bumper is hanging off, and I think he's pulled in. So the driver that's due to start second is out. Nicholas Scholl is also out, the driver that finished second in Heat 2 earlier on. And just getting a number check on that third car, I'm pretty sure it's the number 246 of Oscar Palomo. So whilst they were trying to slow each other down and get into their positions, there's been a collision. And the net result is that Milan Petele is now on the outside of the front row in that black nose cone. Jordan Brown-Nutley has the field at his disposal. Lights are out. We're off and racing. Brown-Nutley leads from Butterfield into turn number 1. A somewhat depleted field. Head down towards turn number 3. 21 carts due to start. We're down to 18. And it's Brown-Nutley, Butterfield, and that is Brett Ward in third place in that MLC Motorsport number 202 kart. Ward third, then Petele in fourth. Make that Petele in third as he makes the move on Brett Ward. Behind them, Mark Kimber in the number 248 Strawberry Racing kart, and then the number 228 kart of Manuel Galofre, the Spaniard. Now, Brett Ward already beginning to defend fourth place. The leaders come through turn number 13 on lap number 1. Petele trying to pull away from Ward, and Ward looks like he's struggling in the opening stages. You can see dropping away from Petele, understeering through the first turn there. Brett Ward not able to hold on to the apex, and he's under a lot of pressure because Kimber now wants to come through. Kimber makes the move, and that is also the Spaniard Saval and Galofre also passing Brett Ward. So not a good start for Brett Ward after making a few places on the opening lap. He's now gone backwards, and I'm looking down. Yes, it was Palomo, who was the third driver, caught out on the opening lap. Well, terrible luck there for Arnaud Malizia. I didn't see what happened. It was obviously something on the infield straight before turn number 9. There was a 3-kart collision as people were trying to either warm their tyres or get into the correct starting position. Coming out of turn number 12 there, the back of the pack, that's number 313. That is Niels Coolen, the Sichting Signmind Racing driver. Again, just his second full year of kart racing. But it's Brown-Nutley leading the way in kart 244. Then it's Jensen Butterfield. Then Petele. So Milan Petele, who had a a poor opening race. Well, it wasn't poor. It was he was forced onto the grass heading towards turn 3 on lap number 1 and had to recover. I think he recovered just inside the top 10, but now he has got to try and take advantage of the fact that one or two of his rivals up near the front have gone. And he finds himself in 3rd place with a gap behind him. So a gap back to Kimber. 1.2 seconds and a change to lead. Butterfield slices up the inside of Brown Nutley going into turn number 13. That brings Petelet right into play. Brown Nutley tries to come straight back at Butterfield but can't. Petelet playing a watching role there, and look at how much Kimber has closed in. So coming out of turn number 3, Mark Kimber is about to enter your screen now. There he is in the second green and white Tony kart, number 248. He was 1 second behind the top 3 at the start of this lap, but because Brown Nutley and Butterfield have been defending, he's caught right up. There goes Brown Nutley again into turn number 9. Oh, and Petelet thought about following him through, but couldn't. And Petelet had to slam on the anchors, slid into the side of Butterfield, slowed himself down, and it's cost him 3rd place. Kimber now into P3. Petelet back to 4th. Then it is the number 228, that blue, yellow and red Alonso kart of Manuel Golofre Tournier, the Spaniard, in 5th place. Then a gap back to Brett Ward in 6th, and Ward still defending. The 202 kart, every time you look at him on the screen, he's actually looking behind him to try and defend. As Nicholas Scholl heads off towards the medical station to get what I assume would be a tweaked wrist seen to. And Petelet has got back ahead. So Petelet passing Kimber, and that really spoilt Kimber's momentum. That was coming out of turn number 3. Petelet making a decisive move. It gives him back 3rd place. It's allowed Brown Nutley and Butterfield to escape. But what it has done, it's dropped Kimber back to 5th. And look at that queue of karts now lining up behind Milan Petelet in kart number 238. That's the kart with the plain black nose cone on the front of it, leading that group. And there's 7, 8, 9, 10 drivers, all just biding their time and itching for an opportunity to strike when possible as they complete lap number 5. It is Golofre in kart 228. He is in 4th place. Then it is Kimber in 5th. Ward in 6th. Followed by CIK Bordas in kart 254. Running in 7th place. Behind Bordas is Carlos Saval in kart number 239. Then it's Josh Skelton for the Coles Racing team in 9th place. And number 220, the young lady for the NM team. That is Belen Garcia. She runs in 10th place. Then it is Aguillon, the Frenchman. Shane White is 12th. Number 232 is Alejandro Martinez is 13th. Then Tom Croydon 14th. Niels Coolen 15th. Lewis Kent in 16th. Jack Deakin is 17th. And Matthew Luton is 18th. So the 18 drivers that made it to the start are all still running, led by that driver, number 244, the Dan Holland Racing Alonso kart of Jordan Brown Nutley. Behind him, that's Brett Ward having to defend again as Golofre relieves Petelet of 3rd position. Brett Ward having to make that Mach 1 kart about as wide as a double-decker bus as he hangs on for 6th place, and that is a sign when a driver of Brett Ward's experience is defending early on. You know that he's not particularly happy with the setup of his kart or the way his kart is coping with the conditions. And Golofre Tournier is now the quickest man on track, 57.77 seconds. He's up into 3rd place. We're on lap 7 out of 10, and he has got just under a second and a half to catch the 2 leaders. Brown Nutley and Butterfield, the 2 Englishmen, lead this race. Through turn number 12 they go. Into turn 13 now. Behind them, you can see Golofre has got Petelet and Kimber for company. Then there's a gap. Brett Ward has lost 6th place. And Brett's mechanic just going, easy boy, calm down. Brett's thinking, I'd love to calm down if only I could turn my go-kart into the corners like I wanted to. Then I wouldn't have to defend so much. Brett's a bit busy at the moment. He's 8th place behind Josh Skelton, behind CIK Bordas. But it's the top 2. Then a chasing group of 3 into turn number 9. Butterfield He won't make a challenge just yet. There goes Brett Ward again, back past Josh Skelton. He's having a busy old race. Butterfield sets the fastest lap. Now he's going to push Brown Nutley along where possible. Galofre in third, all on his own. Potential to change for fourth place. Yes, Kimber has taken it from Petelé. Then Kike Bordas in sixth. Here are the leaders into turn number 1. Starting lap number 9. Still Jordan Brown Nutley hanging on to top spot. He flicks the kart left, right, staying off that curb, coming out of turn number 3. Now into the 4, 5, 6 complex. Very tight. Hard right, then a hard left. Now picking up the speed through turn 7. Letting the kart just use the opening of the circuit. Not to turn the wheel too much, all the way down that infield straight. Again, hard on the brakes for turn number 9. The driver behind you has got an advantage. He's got the slipstream. Now, out of turn number 10. Onto the back straight. Will we see Brown Nutley checks over his shoulder. He defends a little bit into turn number 12. Can Butterfield dive at the inside into turn 13? No, but Butterfield has got a good run as they begin their final lap. We can see Brown Nutley defend. Now Butterfield swings wide. He'll try and cut underneath the race leader coming through turn number 1. He can't quite do it. Now into turn number 3. Brown Nutley doesn't defend. He doesn't want to overshoot the corner. Oh, he has done a little bit. Now he's going to have to hug the inside again through turns 4 and 5. Kimber in 4th has passed Petelé and is closing in on Galofre, who is closing in on the 2 leaders. Now Jordan Brown Nutley has to defend again into turn number 9. He tries to force Jensen Butterfield into the dummy. Butterfield's going to try and cut under him coming out of turn 10. Here comes Manuel Galofre. Butterfield's got the inside. Butterfield does make the move. He sold Jordan Brown Nutley the dummy. Now, can Brown Nutley come back at him? He'll swing wide. He'll try and cut underneath. Butterfield coming at the brake for turn 13. Oh, Butterfield overshoots the apex. Butterfield overshoots the apex and collects Galofre as Brown Nutley takes the win. And Jensen Butterfield, he just left his braking too late going into turn number 13. Clattered over the curbs. That unsettled the kart. It spat him across the track into poor old Manuel Galofre and took the pair of them out. And that meant that Jordan Brown Nutley had an easy run to the flag. Mark Kimber comes home in second place. Milan Petelé in 3rd. 4th was Kike Bordas. And after a non-stop battle from start to finish, Brett Ward comes home with a top 5 finish in 5th position. Skelton is 6th. Jensen Butterfield comes across the line in 7th place. Carlos Saval in 8th. Then Belen Garcia in 9th. Tom Croydon finishes in 10th place. And Paulo Manuel Galofre in 11th position. Valentin Aguillon in 12th and Shane White in 13th, followed by Alejandro Martinez, Niels Coughlan, Lewis Kent, Jack Deakin and Matthew Luton. And there is the number 222 kart of Lewis Kent coming in. He's coming back to karting after a 2-year layoff.